we went ahead and had, or I had, the -1 amendment drafted. And in that process, we learned after our last committee meeting that Legislative Council, there were some concerns about the removing the emergency clause. We are going to go ahead, and Deborah's going to explain that in a moment for us. We are going to go ahead and amend Senate Bill 559, and you'll hear again in Senate Bill 560, and remove the emergency clause. But I want to go ahead and put on the record that not necessarily the exact same language that was there before, but a version, if either of these bills were to be passed and to ever actually go to the floor for a vote, which is undetermined at this point, that those emergency clauses may need to be put back in. And I'm going to go as far as to say that sometimes emergency clauses are in legislation in order to enable agencies to start working on the administrative aspect of the bills, et cetera. So I just wanted to put that on the record about what's happening with the emergency clauses. And there's on OLIS the letter from LC if anybody would like to read in more details about that. Do you want to add anything before Deborah summarizes the bill? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Senate Bill 559 was sponsored by Senators Knope and Cruz. The committee held public hearings on February 13th and April 12th, 2017. The bill changes the calculation of the final average salary under the Public Employees Retirement System from a 3-year average of members' highest annual salary before retirement to a 5-year average for salary paid on and after January 1st, 2018. It requires a recalculation of employer contribution rates to reflect the savings attributable to the Act and makes corrected rates effective July 1st, 2017. It provides for expedited Supreme Court review of petitions by adversely affected persons, declares an emergency effective on passage. The -1 amendment, which was introduced by the Senate Workforce Committee, removes the emergency clause. The memo from Legislative Council advises that removing the emergency clause may be problematic in at least 3 respects, and again, the memo is on OLIS. First is removing the emergency clause means that the bill will take effect on January 1st, 2018. On that day, the PERS board will be required to start calculating a final average salary using 5 years of salary instead of 3 years for salary paid on and after January 1st, 2018. However, the board will not be authorized to adopt rules regarding this change until January 1st, 2018. This could present an administrative problem for the board. Second, the bill requires the board to recalculate the employer contributions to reflect the savings attributable to the bill as soon as possible after the effective date of the bill. The recalculated contribution rates become effective on July 1st, 2017. Removal of the emergency clause could present an administrative and accounting problem because the board will have to backdate the recalculated rates more than 6 months. And finally, the bill provides for direct review to the Supreme Court and requires petitions for review to be filed within 60 days after the effective date of the bill. The emergency clause allows the judicial review process, which historically has taken about 18 months to get started promptly after passage of the bill. Removal of the emergency clause would delay the judicial review process. There were fiscal impact statements issued for SB 559 as introduced and for the -1 amendment. They were the same essential impact, and there's no revenue impact for either. The fiscal impact for SB 559, PERS anticipates agency costs of $1.1 to $1.3 million in 2017 to 19. System-wide savings are estimated at 99.7 to 133 million, but could be reduced or eliminated if the measure is successfully challenged in court, modified through collective bargaining or grievance arbitration, or subsumed by the PERS board rate collar policy. PERS LFO recommends referral to the Joint Committee on Ways and Means.
Okay, thank you. So ask for a motion.